Hi Beatle people, welcome back to A Beatleful Life. So today we're going to be talking about some of my favorite Beatles tribute bands that I would recommend seeing. I've seen about maybe 7 or 8 different Beatles tributes over the past like 10 years or so. And I want to talk about my top 3 today. I did make a blog post about this actually like 4 months ago, right when I was starting out my blog and YouTube channel. But I wanted to make it into a video form as well. So I guess we'll start with number 3. So my third favorite tribute band that I've seen is called the Fab Faux. That's F-A-U-X. I saw them, I believe, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, at the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, which is the same place I saw Ringo, as you'll recall from my Ringo concert experience video. So what's interesting about this tribute band, or what's different should I say, is that they're called the best Beatles tribute without the wigs. So they don't have wigs, they don't have costumes, they're not trying to cosplay, for lack of a better term, the members of the Beatles. They're just being themselves, being a band, but they do make an effort to recreate their vocals and their music, I believe, as best they can. I don't remember if they 100% were trying to sound like them vocally or not, but definitely the music is spot on. When I saw them, they played the entire A Hard Day's Night album. I think what they do is like they play a different album at most of their shows. They also played some other songs I don't actually quite remember, but the majority of the set list was the entire A Hard Day's Night album. And that was really cool. This tribute band is something I would recommend if you're someone who finds the whole wigs and costumes thing to be a little bit cheesy, maybe a little off-putting. I would recommend a band like this. But getting into the more so the costumes, my second favorite tribute band. Now this is not actually a Beatles tribute, it's a Wings tribute. So this is a band called the McCartney Years. I have seen them twice. I first saw them in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, and I saw them most recently at, again, the FM Kirby Center. So this, as I said, is pretty much a Wings tribute. It's a band basically emulating the rock show era of Wings, and kind of putting on almost that exact same set list. So things like Live and Let Die, Jet, etc. And there's, you know, Linda and Denny and of course Paul, the other band members. And I wanted to say actually that I follow them on Instagram, and they were having a contest. If you could guess what song they were playing in a photo, that they would send you a signed poster. And I actually won. I'm one of the people who guessed correctly. The song was Live and Let Die, by the way. But I did not receive that poster yet, but it is being shipped out. I was hoping to be able to show it today, but unfortunately it's not here yet, but I will show you once I get it. So getting more into the band. So if you're a Wings fan, I would definitely recommend seeing them. I'm not sure if there's many other tributes like them around as far as emulating Wings specifically, but they're really good, really talented with the vocals and the music. Definitely awesome. I would recommend following them on Instagram. Their username is the McCartney Years. They kind of take you on the road in their Instagram stories, so that's pretty cool. So I think we'll get into number 1 now, and this is the one I'm most excited to talk about. My number 1 favorite tribute band is Rain, a tribute to the Beatles. I have seen Rain 5 times. I actually most recently saw them just about 2 months ago. I saw them in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And they are absolutely my favorite. They do such an amazing job at recreating the look, the sound, the music, everything about the Beatles, down to their mannerisms, like the tiniest little details. They're just amazing. So I've seen them, as I said, 5 times, and as the years go on, it's, you know, coinciding with a lot of 50th anniversaries, and most recently, and I think the tour that they are currently on as well, they are celebrating 50 years of Abbey Road. So a lot of their set list is the best of the Abbey Road album. And I actually, when I saw them, I wrote a review, kind of a review slash summary on my blog, and they whoever runs their Twitter page was kind enough to share that. So I did get a lot of traffic because of that. So that was cool, of course. So not only do they focus on, I guess I'll stay with the topic of this current tour, not only are they focusing on Abbey Road, but they also cover all the eras in at least some capacity. For instance, the show starts off with the Ed Sullivan Show era, and they do some songs from that. Then they progress to A Hard Day's Night, and then kind of the Revolver era, and Sgt. Pepper as well. There's costume changes, of course, going on throughout all of this as well. Just absolutely spot on with everything that they do. And they even go so far as to recreate audio of Beatles quotes and interviews and such, and those things play during the costume changes, so there's always something going on. Now if you're someone, I should point this out, if you're someone who does find wigs and costumes to be, you know, a little cheesy, I would recommend sitting a little further back. I try to sit about halfway back, that way like it's not so glaringly obvious with the, you know, wigs and stage makeup and such. It actually can be quite realistic if you're sitting far enough back. I made the mistake once of sitting too close for a tribute band. I don't recall which band it was, but it was just a little bit glaringly obvious with the makeup and all, and it kind of took away from it a little bit. So I would recommend definitely sitting far back if you're someone who has a little bit of a problem with the whole wigs and costumes and such. But I overall would definitely recommend Rain. Like I said, spot on with everything that they sing, that they talk like them as well. Just really great. I want to sprinkle in here a couple more tribute bands that I've seen just to highlight some more. I have seen, like I said, about 7 or 8. Another one that I saw is called 1964 The Tribute. It was about 4 years ago that I saw them, and they were actually called by Rolling Stone magazine the best Beatles tribute on earth. So that's pretty cool if you ask me. We were actually sitting pretty close for that as well. They obviously focus on the year 1964, which is of course my favorite Beatles year. I apologize for the lighting change, the sun just went in. Anyway, they focus on the year 1964 and a lot of Ed Sullivan type stuff. So if you are someone who likes that year, especially likes the early Beatlemania era of the Beatles, I would definitely say go see 1964. Another one I've seen recently is, not that recently, but it's called Liverpool Legends. I also saw them at the FM Kirby Center, and they kind of span all the eras as well, if I'm not mistaken. However, I believe actually that is the one I sat too close for, and the makeup was a little obvious, but vocally they were very good. Especially the guy who played Paul had really good vocals on things like Oh Darling, you know, kind of those ripping vocals. So yeah, they were really good as well. The very first tribute I saw was called the Fab Four, but I don't remember much about the show, but that's another one that I've seen as well. So just to recap, number 3 favorite is the Fab Four, number 2 is the McCartney Years, and number 1 is Rain. I would recommend following all these groups on social media as well, and be sure to let me know in the comments, first of all, what Beatles tributes have you seen, what would you recommend, if there's any that I didn't mention here, and what's your favorite as well, let me know. So I also want to say hi to my new subscribers. I got about 15 new subscribers in the past couple days, so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much everyone for watching. That's gonna wrap up today's video. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll leave all my social media and my blog in the description as always. So check those out if you want, and have a beautiful day everybody. Bye.